Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Maria Lopez and this is Budget for College. This is a very dear subject for me because last year I realized that I was not doing very well on my expenses. I was responsible in my family for paying bills and basically taking care of all the finances in my house. I thought I was doing pretty well, but it turns out that we were starting to go into debt. This spreadsheet has helped us not only identify who was the problem, which it was me, by the way. I was overspending every single time. In this year and a half, 2 years that we've been using the spreadsheet, I have been able to pay 3 of my credit cards. I was in debt before I started college because we knew that by the time that we got to college, we got into the grad school, my income was going to go down somewhat and we were going to struggle with the income that we had. So we had to come up with a solution, and it turns out that that same spreadsheet that we were using before, it was the perfect solution. We didn't have to change anything, and we've been using that spreadsheet ever since. I'm gonna show you guys a variation of this spreadsheet that we have, that I kind of compacted it so that it's useful to any kind of student that is in college. You can use this spreadsheet. Yeah, this is gonna definitely help you. I'm gonna share my screen, so I'm gonna share you a few pointers here and there, and we're gonna see the spreadsheet. And I'm actually gonna share with you guys the link for this spreadsheet. If you subscribe to this channel, you like this video, you comment your name below, I'm gonna make sure that you have the link to this spreadsheet and make sure that you follow up with me to see how everything's going. Make sure that you introduce yourself in the comment. Let me know what's your major, where are you in your career right now. I'm here to help you. Let's jump into it. The first thing that you're gonna need for your budget, you need to know how much income you're making. If you have a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or a side hustle, you need to know how much you're being paid. When are you being paid, at the exact date of when you're being paid, and how often. Okay, if you have a side hustle, make sure that if you've been there for a long time, you probably already know how much you can trust to earn by the month. If you've been there for only a little bit, make sure that you're conservative on your budgeting and always plan for emergencies. So side hustles are a great thing to have when you're planning for emergencies, or when you're saving for a vacation, or if you want to save for Christmas presents, stuff like that. The other thing you need to know is your expenses. Make sure that you put everything in categories, okay? So you're gonna put your housing, your rent, okay, your transportation, your car payments, car insurance, all of that, your food, groceries, utilities, the water bill, the electricity bills, etc., debt or credit cards if you have debt, and the miscellaneous. For this part, the expenses, it's very important that you know the total amount that you owe. When is the due date of your credit card, and when is the cycle, when does it end, and when is your monthly payment due? Once you have these things, you're gonna be ready to enter all of this information into a spreadsheet that I've made. I'm gonna share it with you, so go ahead and click on the plus sign, subscribe, so that I can share this information with you. If you send me an email, I'll send you the link to the spreadsheet that I'm about to show you. All right, so now with the information that you have from your income and your expenses, we're going to use this spreadsheet to enter all the information that you have at hand. Now, let me explain the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has on the top part of the spreadsheet, it has your income. The next section, all of this are expenses, and at the bottom, it actually gives you the totals. The last column, column K, actually gives you the remaining owed balance for that monthly payment. Okay, so now that you know that, let's look at the income. The first thing that you're gonna do for job one, you're gonna put the amount that you get paid on the date that you get paid. If you get paid on the 1st or the 10th or whatever day you will get paid, you change this to the date that you get paid. And you enter for job one, job two, and if you have a side hustle, that you can put it in there as well. Remember, be conservative. So as you can see, if you look at this column and you go all the way to the bottom of the column, this spreadsheet is going to tell you how much you have available for that day. Okay, this is very important. You don't want to overestimate how much you have available. So if that hustle is not a 100% sure thing that you're going to have the money, then what you want to do is just not have it there. It's always better that if you're not expecting that money, don't count on it. So in this example, we're going to have on the 1st, that is the day that we get paid for both of our jobs, we have a 3,000 balance. Okay, so on our cash flow, we have $3,000. And then for the job number 2, we get paid on the 15th again. We get paid $1,000, so we have $1,000 available on the 15th. So now, based on this amount, you're going to enter all of your debt and expenses on the bottom part. We're working on our college budget, and remember, you're going to get the link for this spreadsheet. Make sure that you follow me, and I'll go ahead and send you the link. Now, let's continue with our expenses. As you can see, I have categorized most of our expenses. Housing, our credit cards, utility bills, transportation, food, and all of our miscellaneous expenses. This column, note to ourselves, I usually use it to imply to myself that I have to manually do this payment or it's an auto pay, okay? I usually schedule, I don't auto pay it. I schedule it directly from the website to get charged on the day that I'm selecting it. Unfortunately, my bank, I use a credit union and they don't have the availability to make payments directly to every single thing that I owe. So what I make is schedule payments on each of the websites so that it gets paid on the day that I want it to get paid, not precisely on the day that is due. So now, for example, our expense, the first one that we have to get paid is our rent. So for this rent, this month rent, we're actually going to put our expense right here, the $1,500. And you can see at the bottom of our column right here, okay, you can see that the 1,500 gets deducted from our total. The other thing that you have to pay every month is probably either your health insurance, because otherwise you're gonna run out of health insurance depending on when it's due, okay? So let's say that this one is due on the 1st as well, and let's say that your car payment is due also on the 1st. So your card payment is $150. We're going to put that in there. So now it's probably all of your bills are due on a different day. Right now I have them all in the same day. But let's say that this bill, the internet bill, is due on the 25th. It's not due on the 1st. So if I change that day to the 25th, so that means that you don't have to pay it on the 1st or the 15th, you can pay it on the 24th, for example. But if you get paid on the 15th, that means that that day, the 15th, you're gonna have money to pay your bills, okay? So make sure that you pay your bill before it's due. So if this bill is due on the 25th, but you get paid on the 15th, use the payment before that. So let's go ahead and add the $100 in here. So that's gonna make sure that when you receive this check, you're gonna pay this bill, and as you can see, it deletes from your history of owning this money, okay? So you already paid your rent, you paid your internet, and so you're gonna keep going with the rest of your bills depending on when they are due. Let's say that your gas and electric is due on the 15th. So we're gonna change this to the 15th. So this one, you probably wanna pay it on the 1st so that it's paid by the 15th. But if not, if you have it in auto pay, just go ahead and leave it on the 15th, and you're gonna add the 100. You're gonna keep doing this until you actually run out of money, but leave enough money for emergencies. So let's say that we start adding things here and there depending on how much is your budget for that day. So let's put the $50 in here, 80, and you can see our total keeps going down at the bottom in our yellow total amount. So we have 250 in here, we have 200, we have 100. So I'm actually gonna stop there. And I'm gonna pay the 100 with my other bill payment. For groceries, what I do, actually, let me go back in here, gasoline. And that's why I have 4 things here. I usually do my gas in 4 parts, right? Because you run out of gas, you can either have a card specifically for your gas and just pay it every month, or you can save on your savings the total amount of gas that you're gonna do for that month, okay? But you can also just leave it in your debit account and put the weekly total. So let's say that you have let's say that you do $50 each week. So you have 4 weeks in the month. So that's gonna give you the $200. For groceries, I have a big family, so I spend a lot of money in groceries. Depending on the size of your household, you can spend more or less. Make sure that you're eating enough, because that takes a lot of your stress and a lot of your health. You need your vitamins, you need your nutrition to be able to learn. So this is important. So make sure that you have enough food. Make sure to use the resources that you have available in your school. Almost every school has a food pantry for students. If you don't use your school pantry for food, make sure that you go to a food bank and get groceries from there. You need them, okay? This is very important. Food is very, very important. Your nutrition is very important. So make sure that you schedule yourself. Make sure that you have not only a budget, but you make a menu for the week. If you can do a menu for the month, that's good. I'm a person that I keep eating the same thing over and over again because I have like nutritional needs, special needs. So I always eat the same thing over and over again. So my budget based on groceries, it doesn't vary a lot. But if you're a person that gets bored easily with their food, it's important that you mix it around so that you don't get stuck, and at the end of the day you don't end up craving takeout. Okay, so make sure that you write out a menu Once you have your menu, you're gonna write down when you go to the groceries. Make sure that you go online, make sure that you go on Amazon, make sure that you know how much things are worth. Try to use dollar store to buy your canned goods and your spices because that's going to save you a ton of money. The dollar stores has many things that you can just use, and it saves you a lot of money. If you're a coupon user, make sure that you use your coupons every Sunday. You get coupons in the paper, and you usually get 2 or 3 things for free from the dollar store. So if you're a student and you're struggling with jobs or you're struggling with your budget, food is very important. The dollar store is your friend. So go to the dollar store. Make sure that you have enough money for your food. And I always like to put the 200 in here. So in here, as you can see, I don't have income on this day. So I'm minus 50, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put 100 in here and not put anything on the 50. And then 100 in here. So I'm going to make sure that my budget has this amount. And I'm in a good place. At the bottom, you can see that I still have $750 and $250 and $75 on the other side. Now, I'm gonna add my Netflix because yes, and Disney Plus because we are all addicted to the movie. We all know which one is it. And Bruno cannot say that we're not gonna watch it like 1,000 times. And then school supplies, depending on what you're gonna spend, make sure that you're real to yourself and you're not spending on school supplies that are not needed. School supplies, I have here, then in February, I'm gonna spend on my books. So I actually need $500 for my books and all my materials and stuff. So I usually like to put that I'm gonna save $100 for savings, but you see I don't have a lot of money. It's important, so I'm gonna save $50 in here and $50 on my next paycheck, so I don't run out of money. So as you can see, I have $170 and $225. If you have made sure that you have all of your expenses integrated into this spreadsheet, you're not going to run into issues. If you're lying to yourself and saying, oh, I don't have, I don't know, Hulu or another subscription like hidden somewhere, and you're not really paying attention to what your monthly expenses are, then yes, this is not going to work. But if you are, that means that you have $170 in this paycheck to spend on eating out or coffee. If you want to save that money for emergencies, that's much better. Make sure that you use your groceries to pay for that eating out so you don't go out, okay? If you want to go out once a month, then you put it in here. So let's say that you're gonna go out once a month, or let's say twice a month. You're not gonna go out and spend the $170 because that's gonna leave you in zero, right? So you don't want to be in zero. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go out and you're gonna spend $50. Don't eat, don't drink, don't do anything. And then you can spend $5 in coffee. It's actually $6, but whatever. $6. Because who doesn't eat coffee when you're like stressed out at school? That's one of the things that I usually buy for myself at school, coffee. I'm not really good at taking coffee from home. By the time I get there, it's cold already, so I don't like it. And then I'm gonna spend another 50 and $6 over here also. So I'm getting twice a week a coffee, and twice a week I'm gonna go out. And the math is wrong here. Let me fix it. There, I fixed it. So I actually, when I was fixing this, I noticed that I had made a budget of $65 to eating out, and I'm actually over budget. So that's one of the things that you have to be careful, right? If you already made a budget, just stick to it. Just because you have more money in your pockets doesn't mean that you have to spend it, okay? So let's stick to that budget. So we can spend, let's say, $45 and then 20. So that's our 65. There's something over here that we're not paying. Oh, groceries. So we'll do 400 on that day and then 400 on this day. If you don't have a big fridge, just make sure that you put that money aside for groceries. Don't spend it, but put it aside for what it's supposed to be used for, okay? And here we are overspending $200. We are over budget, my friends. So that means that we have to adjust our budget. This is such a good example. So one of the things, like I mentioned, groceries are something that you can really, really be mindful of, okay? Netflix and Disney, maybe you can go without Netflix and Disney. We can reduce our school supplies budget, and you can use, again, Dollar Tree is very good. Or you can skip your savings. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna try to go to the food bank at the school and then go visit the food bank from my neighborhood and reduce this to $400. That way I only have to spend $200 bi-weekly. And I'm still short on the 15th payment by $1. So one of the things that we like to do is actually split our bills so that we are even. So let's say this internet payment, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually schedule 2 payments on the website for the internet. We're gonna schedule 2 payments for this month. One is gonna be a $50 payment and the other one's gonna be a $50 payment. And there we have a balanced budget. Yeah. Let's say that we can split the gas and electric, and that's gonna leave us with 50 and 50. And that's gonna give me $99 over here. So the other one was more balanced. So maybe we can do 30 in here and 70. Okay. So that leaves you with a little bit of money, and you still have to pay all of your bills except your credit cards. The college loan, we're lucky because it's on hold. You can ask for deferment for that. So this is where your side hustle will come handy. If you can make sure that you do Instacart every day, enough to have $100 each time you have a paycheck, that's gonna leave you with a very balanced budget, and you're gonna have enough to pay your bills, your credit cards. Let's say that in here we have 100 and 100. So that's gonna leave you barely with enough. The college loans, well, so far you don't have to pay it for the month of February. But if you have to pay your bills, then you probably know that you need to invest a little bit more time on that side hustle. or you have to reduce some of your expenses, maybe get rid of Netflix and Disney Plus. Maybe share Netflix with some of your friends so that you guys can pay for Netflix and just share a password. Disney Plus, you can do the same thing. School supplies, if you guys go on the same school or the same class, maybe you guys can share books and just take turns reading it. And always eating out, it's a pleasure, and coffee is a pleasure. So if you get rid of those two expenses, make sure you can see how much you save. Okay, so being in college, it's all about making smart choices. Yes, we definitely have to make smart choices. Make sure that the points that you take away from this budget is that you have to keep a lookout for paying your bills on time. Every pay cycle, you have to make sure that you pay your bills first and you have enough money to pay everything that you need and still have a little bit of money left. If that money is left after the month, that is what we call a residual at the end of the month. Maybe you can save that money, put it into your savings, or the following month, you just transfer that over to another account. Make sure that you have a separate account so that you're not overspending money that you are not supposed to overspend. That carryover or that residual money, you can put it into a savings account, onto a different debit account that you can use as a miscellaneous expenses. Or if you're gonna go out, you use that money and you don't use money that you have on your debit that it's supposed to go towards your bills. So that is the last advice that I have for you. There's so many things out there, I know. I'm not a professional. I hope that you enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, make sure that you comment so that I can email you and send you the link to the spreadsheet and you can have a copy of it, all right? You have a good night and thank you for watching. Let's study together.